Hello,
Hello,
Hello
guys.
guys!
guys.
Welcome to our very first episode. Before anything else, I am Tina.
Aditya.
Preeti.
And I'm Shahana.
And if you're wondering what this channel is about, my friends and I decided on this podcast project to share our conversations and insights on societal issues in Nepal so as to bring awareness to the Nepali youth out there. Please do continue to support us because we'll be touching on much more personal and deeper issues in the next few episodes. As for today, we will be discussing something that needs major attention, and that is the effects of lockdown here in Nepal. So let me just start off by saying how all of us here, we are surviving comfortably in this lockdown. We have foods on our plates as and when we like. And for many of us, okay, it has become a great time to bond with our families and for self-improvement. I see so many people learning how to cook, having a healthier lifestyle. And even if it's not always about self-improvement, we have technology to fall back on, like Netflix, social media. So my point here is that although this lockdown was implemented with the best intentions, it only serves to benefit a certain percentage of the population, which is people like us. And it's basically a nightmare for those underprivileged, low-income families who depend on daily wages for their income, for their survival. And also when I researched about 70% of the economically active population in Nepal comes from the informal economy. So the survival of these informal workers, it's being threatened to a huge extent because probably most of them are living on rent ola, they have loans to pay ola, many of them are migrant workers as well, and many of them could be single parents. So this virus has already affected Nepal economically, but in the long run, it's gonna affect socially as well. And I think that's gonna be even more detrimental. What about you guys? What are your thoughts on the effects of lockdown here?
Yeah, you're very right in that we are privileged enough to have ample food, a roof over our heads, and even access to the internet to discuss all these during a pandemic. Which is why I guess it's important that we talk a little bit more about what is going on in Nepal to shed some light. Like what you said, especially for youth like us. We spend a lot of time online, but such news don't really reach us, I guess, because of the algorithm. So while there is definitely some sort of help bottom now, like for those who are trying to make ends meet, there are multiple non-profit organizations that are feeding the homeless in different parts of Nepal, providing rations for wage earners and so on. And obviously the government has stepped in, promising various measure implementations to help different groups of people. Which, I mean, is a good thing, but as we all know, things don't always reflect ideally when it comes to implementation. After all, real world neo, we can't predict all our circumstances ni. So a lot of these measures are also dependent on the local level to be involved. So data collection, going lagi, all that. It is good because allocation of jobs, I guess it makes it easier to one. But in my opinion, there seems to be a lack of preparedness because there are still so many families that have not gotten the relief packages that were promised, and so many more that are just not receiving help at all. Just makes me question now why this sort of data was not actively seeked out the moment lockdown was announced in late March to facilitate the ease of distribution now. Then there's the thing about rent as well. So this may be old news now, but it was quite a debate about the government encouraging landlords to exempt 1 month's rent by taxing them for the exempted amount, you know?
Yeah, I do. Actually, about the point about the rental payment exemption, which was implemented during April, right? It has brought about a lot of cries from the landlords. So basically, this
Yeah.
exemption is when landlords don't get money from the tenants, right? During this pandemic at all. Not only such a case, I believe there are shops rent where the shop owners have to pay at least 30,000 rupees monthly to pay for their shops, but they're barely even using it or not even using it at all. So basically losing business is losing money, right?
Yep.
So
Hey.
I'm keeping up with the news. So I believe that there are thousands of people that are struggling to pay their rents, or some of them are barely even being able to afford the daily essentials to survive on. Um, to add on, right, I feel like the issue about the rent is like kind of linked with the loss of jobs or like jobs being like hold on during this lockdown period, which has caused like a
Yeah.
huge financial crisis in the society right now. Like at least three in every like five employees like have lost their jobs or like their jobs are like currently being on hold, which is like causing another huge problem, which is an increase in the criminal activities in our society. Criminal activities such as like robberies, murder attempts, and many more are seen to be happening like pretty frequently in the valley nowadays. From what I know so far, there has been like 217 criminal cases in three districts of the valley after the nationwide lockdown came into effect. Of them, right, 177 are from like the Kathmandu district, 28 of them are from Lalitpur district, and 12 of them are from the Bhaktapur district. I'm sure there has been like a rise in the number of such cases as of today, and I believe that some of them are not even reported as well.
This is very random, but can we like backtrack to the topic of rental payment? Like, if you were a landlord, then would you ask your tenants to pay out?
Um,
Um,
I personally, I wouldn't lah. Like, how do I say it? As a Gordani, like a landlord, I think it already puts me in like a better position per se than the tenants who have an additional financial burden called rent. So it's like I don't think I want to like ask them to like pay up during a pandemic like
Yeah.
this.
For me, I would say it's like situation based. Like, so I'm on the fence for this. So if you look at the tenants side, like many of them are jobless, as we all know, you know. And even before the lockdown, they would be earning just enough to pay the rent or to buy basic necessities. And they also have other expenses to worry about other than just rent. You know. Then if we look at the landlord's perspectives, just because you have a house doesn't mean you're well off. God hundema, kana dindena. So yeah. So
Yeah.
many would have also built these houses after years of like saving up and like borrowing loans for the sole purpose of rental income. Okay. So it goes both
Yep.
ways. So I'm neither here or there.
Yep.
I agree with Tina's points actually. I feel like I'm also like really like on the fence as well. Like to add on to the points, right? I believe like some landlords may be providing financial aid to their loved ones as well, who may be like studying overseas or like maybe be suffering from health problems, requiring like
Yeah.
to be hospitalized or like on medications, which require like a huge sum of money. It's not like it's not gonna be that cheap. It's gonna be super expensive, as you guys know, right? So I believe like they too need like a source of income in the meantime, and some of the landlords may like solely depend on the tenants as well for their pay.
Yes.
Like tenants on the other side, on the other hand, right? Like what Tina has mentioned, like they are like suffering right now without like jobs or like the jobs being on hold and are like barely being able to like provide for like themselves right now in the meantime. First, I do believe that it depends on like the background and the situation itself. I believe like the best way right now is to like cooperate with one another, which I hope like most homes will like do so to like make this situation a little bit better right now for everyone.
Yeah, but I also want to add a point. I also feel like, like most of the people who rely on this rental payment as their like basic source of income are actually like elderlies, because there are people who have like retired already and they have already, since they have already retired, they have no other source of income except for the rental payment itself. So, they should also have the right to ask for their pay.
Yeah, I think like we all like generally our situation based no depends on what the
Yeah, yeah.
tenant and the landlord situation is. But we also need to keep in mind, right, that a lot of these underprivileged that we're talking about today, so like wage earners, porters, laborers, all those that have been jobless for months now, they typically live in squatters or slums like river
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that. So these landlords are usually not incentivized by the tax exemption that the government has said they will give, because they are not even registered for rental tax. So it just makes me think that such a
True.
measure was just haphazardly thrown in the beginning of lockdown to bring some sort of peace to those suffering the most.
Yeah.
They failed to realize the pitfalls and loopholes, you see. So I think like we can bring more light to such situations and ask for the approval of random measures being implemented.
Yeah.
So, okay, we've discussed until this much, and we are pretty much coming to the end of our conversation. So, like, for the final question, Ina, then what should be done to improve the current situation for the underprivileged?
Uh, you you see a lot of new issues are actually coming to attention, which I believe Nepal did not prepare for. So let's say the thousands of Nepali who are traveling back home from India. I think more attention is needed for like these group of vulnerable people because
Yeah.
they are the ones who are at a higher risk of being exposed to COVID and even exposing others to COVID. So a lot of attention needs to be given there. You can try visiting Maggie Doyne, Maggiedoyne on Instagram. She talks about this
Yeah.
extensively and is very involved on a very like she goes there physically like Surkhet Ma. And there's some good news, I guess, because as of 3 hours ago, she updated and like there is help reaching these people, which shows to go, which goes to show, sorry, which goes to show that bringing awareness is very key. So I'm like very, I don't know, thankful that I can sit down with like the three of you and talk about this and maybe even like, and bring it out to the world out there. Lah.
As for me, I think the focus definitely needs to be on the PPEs and the medical facilities. Abu Surma, when the virus first came in, like there weren't enough isolation beds and ICU wards.
Yeah.
And yes, increased bata over the next few like days, months, but even so, it's still not enough care like now. And many of these equipments, facilities are concentrated in Kathmandu. Places like Province 5, which has been hit the hardest, two deaths were reported. And Isudar Patsim Province, Bake, these are all places that are in dire need of all these equipment. And if like the cases continue to increase, the capacity at which Nepal can respond to these places, to COVID cases, in an efficient manner, is going to be overwhelmed. Okay? And also, Nepal has to ensure that the frontline workers they are safely equipped, because if they are the ones getting affected, what about the patient's care? So frontline workers are like me, ekdamai have to like take care. And also coronavirus matreta lageko chaina. There are other sicknesses around. There are many other people who are suffering from other types of diseases, not just COVID or so the hospitals have to take in all these other groups of people as well. So there's added pressure happening.
Okay. I do agree with like Tina's points. I believe like the government has set up a fund to combat the spread of the COVID virus. I think the fund is known as like the Coronavirus Control and Treatment Fund, which has like received donations from like various organizations, industries, firms and individuals as well. At least like over 200 million rupees has already been collected. And this fund will actually be used for like the treatment and control of those patients who have been tested like positive for this COVID-19. However, like what Tina mentioned about the focus on PPEs, right? What about those who suffer from other types of health issues and they're in urgent need of help as well? I do know the recent case of the Grandy Hospital, if you guys know, like the staff was tested positive for COVID-19, but was like sent to like Patan Hospital for treatment instead. So far, like there has been like 682 cases, 4 deaths, and only 112 people being recovered from this COVID-19. Like, I mean, like, can you imagine like that this happened from just having one case earlier this year to having 682 cases in just the past few months? Which means that there is like a more need for such how to say different types of method to be used instead of just isolating the people into like different hospitals. And like when the numbers are rising, right, then you need more bed, you need more facilities and equipment. So I just believe that I hope that like more people can step up to help by donating and like simply raising awareness about the situation as well.
Okay, like I know like although the government they have like given some discounts, like just now you said like electricity like in terms of the internet service providers, like they have asked them to reduce
water.
water, so like give them discount and those kind of stuff. But it's still very difficult for like underprivileged people to pay up, because if you like look at it, most underprivileged people are like people who are like who work on like a daily wage basis instead of, you know, and because of that, like of this crisis, they're not able to work and they're not able to get their income. And because of that, it doesn't matter if there's a discount or not, because at the end of the day, we don't have money to pay. Like the discount is nothing if you don't have any money to pay. But you know, we have heard of like different organizations who are working to help the needy through like different donation projects. Like, you know, they're giving like relief packs and those kind of stuff. And I think this is a very good thing, because they are actually giving it straight, like it's like direct help to the people who actually need it. Like there's a lot of transparency, which makes it very good. And but like at the end of the day, it's just like, not only like we shouldn't always expect things on the government, like we shouldn't always expect the government to do, you know, like everything and solve everything also, like, but like even us as ourselves, like we should be able to help ourselves, like not just others but also help ourselves, because I know like there are many people who feel very bad in this kind of situation, you know, like feel like we're in this messy situation and you feel very like lost, kind of, I don't know, like you feel very guilty because like you're not doing anything. It's just like, what am I going to do, what am I doing with my life? But that's like the least of our concerns, because at least we still have like a roof over our head, you know, we still have things that we can do, you know. And not just that, but we should turn this moment into something that, you know, it is a chance for us to do things that we weren't able to do, like we didn't have time for before the like pre-corona time. So like, you know, bond with your family, that's a basic thing. Bond with your family, pick up a new skill, or like even, you know, improve a skill that you already have. And even if you don't want to be productive, like it's okay to not be productive. Like we're stuck in the middle of a, you know, pandemic. It's not a competition. You don't have to try to one up someone just because you saw someone like cook the other day or something. Like it's okay to, you know, not do anything. But if you can try to help people and you see someone who needs help and you're able to help them, you know, without risking the violation of the lockdown, then go ahead, you know, go help them. Or even something simple like go like to your neighborhood dogs and like feed them, because I'm pretty sure that they're starving out there. But yeah, but at the end of the day, stay safe, stay home, like don't go out too much, you know. Health is number one. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, so much is uncertain right now, you know, like everything is at a halt. We don't know what the future is gonna hold, you know. But let's not take our comfort for granted and
Yeah.
give a helping hand if you can. And even if it's not physically, you can, something as simple as just spreading awareness, spreading knowledge on news, you know, it's all that enough given times. So I guess this marks the end of our discussion. Just like today's episode, we will surely come up with many more issues that needs more attention, more light. And a big thank you to our viewers for watching until this point. We hope you enjoyed our first episode and are coping well with this quarantine life. So let's stay positive during this crucial time. Like I said, give a helping hand if you can. And even if it's not, awareness is the way to go. So yeah, please do give our video a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. With that, we bid farewell.